Well, hello, everybody. I'm Jenny Lee here with the Real Joy Project today, and we have a special guest, Miss Rebecca Kasian, with us today. And of course, Shelby's here, and we are excited to chat. We are again just going to have a little coffee chat today. So grab some coffee or tea, wine, whatever it is, whatever time of day it is for you. It's always 5 o'clock somewhere. So we're just going to have a good conversation today. We have Miss Rebecca with us today, and Rebecca is a mom of three kids, all in elementary school right now. She is a business owner. She's a chiropractic. She's the only chiropractic. She's a chiropractor and owns her own chiropractic business, is the only doctor in her office, so she's very busy. And in her hometown where she grew up, which I know is very, very special to her, and that means a lot to her to be there. She also has a brain wellness practice in her office, which we're going to talk about a little bit today. That really ties in with some of the conversations we've been having lately about how important rest is. She also teaches Sunday school, even preaches at the church once in a while, and is currently decided to put her name on the ballot to run for school board in her community, which some of us called her out right away and said, okay, what are you going to let go of when you're going to run for school board? Because as we've been talking about, we have to learn to say no and we have to find our balance so we don't become burnt out. So that's just a little bit about Rebecca, and I'm excited for her to be here today. We have known each other for a long time. So hello, Miss Rebecca. How are you today?
Hello. Thank you guys for having me. I'm very excited. I've been catching up on some of your past um, videos, I guess, YouTube videos, and this is just fun. You don't feel like you're being interviewed or even recorded. It's just a fun conversation between friends. I love it. It's
Yep.
just a cool
Well,
atmosphere. Love
thank
it.
you, because that's
Mhm.
totally what we're trying to go for.
Yes.
So,
It's fun.
so I love that. So,
Mhm.
well, to start off today, just tell us a little bit about like what's life like for you right now? Like, what's a
Ooh.
regular day like for you? Because you are in a very busy season of your life.
Yes. We, yes, very busy. A normal day, I mean, it revolves around getting the kids up and out the door and to school. And we are only a 4-day school week in Medora, so that's the luxury we have of not having necessarily to be, they don't have to up and out the door on Fridays, and I can have that flexibility if I want to. So yeah, we get kids off to school, come here, come to my office, see patients, see clients for my Cereset, the brain wellness machine. Between those two things, that pretty much fills up the day. You have your lunch break that, oh, I'm gonna sit down and get to eat, and most times you're eating as the next patient walks in the door. But so just that seeing patients every day, and then you still have your admin side of business and taking care of those pieces of things. That's a lot. So yeah, busy. My husband and I talk about, or people tell you, like, ebbs and flows of seasons with your kids, right? Like we we are not as exhausted as we were when they were little. Our kids are very stacked right now. Our son is 7 and our girls are 8 and 9. So, or no, 9 and 10. Sorry, 9 and 10. So there's a few months there where they are always consecutive ages, and so that's always fun. But when they were little, when they were 1, 2, and 3, we were much more exhausted than we are now. But we're in that fun. Their little personalities are starting to come through, and like you can sit down and play board games, and you can watch shows together and have that like good quality family time. But yeah, busy is a good word. But I always say I'm as busy as I want to be. So that's good too. I can control that narrative a lot.
Yeah, I love that saying. I've really picked that up a lot lately because I used to wear busy as a badge of honor, and we've talked about that
Mhm.
a lot on these calls. And because I felt like I had to be busy in order to prove my worth, like, oh,
Yes.
I'm so busy, and it's like, no, I'm as busy as
Yeah.
I want to be. And I think by saying that out loud, it gives you the permission to say no when you want to say no,
Mhm.
because you are telling yourself that. It's like what we tell our minds we believe, especially when
Mhm.
we repeat it a lot. Um, so what is something that I know for you, you had just said something I was going to comment on too about, oh, like I know that a lot of times, like after Wednesday nights, for example, you teach Sunday school. So
Mhm.
you go from work to Sunday school, and then you're going back home. And for those that are in the middle of that like stage of life where you have kids doing that, where do you find that balance? I also know sometimes you're doing book work at night in your house.
Yes.
So and you and your husband work very well together to do that.
I
So
mean,
like, what is some advice you could give somebody that's in that stage at this moment of like, how do you find that balance to find time with your children, time with your husband, and then time for yourself?
So, well, I think marrying really well. That was a good thing I did. I have that
Mark,
true
we'll
partner.
shout
Yeah,
out
yeah,
Mark.
go
Yeah.
Mark. Yes, go Mark. I have that true partner. My sister-in-law likes to say when people are always like, "Oh, your husband, he does all the cooking." I can't tell you the last time I cooked a meal. I do bake a little bit, but he's our main chef and enjoys it. This morning he made eggs and he tried something different, and I pretended like it tasted different and they were delicious. I don't know what they were good, but I don't know what was different. But so that is huge, like having that person that truly and then the thing he likes, what my sister-in-law says about him is people are always like, "Oh, you're so lucky. Your husband does all this cooking." And my sister-in-law's like, "Yeah, and how much training did she put into that?" So she likes to say that. But his thing is always, I am the warden and he's labor and delivery. So I mean, I think we have a really good that helps makes the balance so much easier. And he's good at recognizing we had a friend that had birthday yesterday. Or actually the birthday was today, but it worked well to have lunch yesterday for friends. And I called him on my way back to the office and he's like, "You have to do this more. You have to go with your friends. You sound so much happier and lighter after a lunch with friends." And so having that person that recognizes that for you too is huge. And so he makes sure that that happens, helps me make sure that that happens. But I don't think there's a true balance per se, but scheduling your scheduling your week out. I mean, Sunday nights is always our family reset. What's the week look like? What do we have going on? And then making sure that you're just scheduling that me time, that downtime. So I try really hard. Tuesdays and Thursdays I work late. It's between 6 and 7, I'm out of here. I just purposefully know I'm not doing anything when I get home that night. Like there's no work happening. That is downtime. That's Mark and I time. We're really good about date night. You just making
Yeah.
you have to schedule that in. I think that's the biggest thing is making sure you get it scheduled in would be my definitely. And I feel like having like you have if no matter where your kids are at in school, you have friends that are younger and older, right? Like Jenny and I are pretty close in age, and she's got high schoolers and I have elementary kids. But so it's fun to be able to tell some of those younger moms like it's okay. It's okay
Mhm.
if the dishes are sitting in the sink. It's okay if, X, Y, and it's not the end of the world, I promise. They'll be there tomorrow. So that's fun to be able to like pass that down. And Jenny is so good with that. And then our friend Nikki too, just like, "It's okay, Rebecca. It's okay." It's like, okay, you just feel better when you get that permission sometimes from somebody else. So yeah.
I've heard so much of that from Jenny and Nikki and other moms that are a little bit older too. And I'm a mom to a daughter. She'll be 2 in June. And so it's very interesting to hear from you, like, make time for yourself, schedule that in, kind of like going to a doctor's appointment. Like
Mhm.
you'd put that on your calendar and you wouldn't miss that. You would rearrange your work schedule, you'd maybe take half a day off or something like that. But when it comes down to like scheduling it for yourself, for whatever reason, sometimes it's easy to kind of get pushed to the wayside. So I can
Yeah.
appreciate hearing from Jenny, but also from you too. You've got a lot going on with, your business and your personal life and then all the extracurricular things. So one of my questions for you would be how, as a business owner and a mom and a friend and a wife, did you manage like the guilt of kind of balancing all of that?
Mm.
Um, I had heard a story once of a lady that if you're putting a bunch of energy into schoolwork or your business or something else, another area in your life is kind of lacking. So if at any point did you ever experience kind of that guilt of like, I'm putting a lot of time into growing my business, or maybe I'm trying to put more time into my family, or vice versa?
Yeah.
Did you feel that, and how did you kind of get through that point?
100% felt that. I started my practice in June of 2015. I was whatever, 4 or 5 months pregnant. Hazel, our oldest, came that December. So they're trying to build a practice and then a year later Violet came and then a year later Oliver came. So trying to build a practice in amongst that we had a wonderful in-home nanny, so that helped that balance. I think one of the biggest things I have Both of my sister-in-laws, my brothers, again, married very well, but they both are, they're not true stay-at-home moms. They have side jobs and other things, but they're stay-at-home moms. And I think it's so cool for my girls and our son, all of our children to see you can have this life where you are stay-at-home, you have these side gigs, but and then also here you can have like my sister is a PT. So you can have this life here of like a practice and a career and all those things. But yeah, you definitely feel that like when things are going really well at home, something's suffering at work. And when things are going really well at work, something's suffering at home. And for me, I mean, like I have no problem admitting the thing that suffers at home is usually the marriage, not the kids. You put your effort and all your eggs in your baskets for your children. So, and I sometimes I think having our kids so close in age was the advantage because they're kind of all going through things at the same time, if that makes sense. Like we kind of like we got out of bottles, okay, out the door. Got out of diapers, out the door. So it's like we kind of just it was seems kind of rapid. There will be a little gap. The girls are in third and fourth grade, and Oliver's in first, so there'll be a little gap. I won't send them all at the door like to go to college at the same time. I'll have some time to adapt to that, but yeah, the guilt is there. I don't know how you get rid of the guilt. I think you just learn to manage what is best. And I have both my parents up on a pedestal. They're wonderful, amazing people. And so I just have that like, okay, what are my girls gonna, not I would say girls, my kids gonna think, what didn't, how are they gonna feel when they're my age and look at me, like how they don't want them to feel like I didn't spend enough time, but I also want them to see that yes, your life revolves around them, but you still have to mom still has to take care of mom,
Yep. Yep.
and same thing, like I want them to um like know like see the love between their dad and I, like see like you deserve that too and those kinds of pieces. So it's like there's so many pieces to make it all work and then too you learn the older you get the to never look I've gotten, I mean, I don't have time to compare. Like I just, because some people do that comparison thing. I just don't even have that time. Like this is what works for our family. This is the
Yep.
inner workings of us. And so some people do that. They're like, well, how do you get it all done? And it's like, you don't know the ins and outs of how we get things done. And until you spend time inside that family unit, you don't know. So yeah, very much
Yeah.
difficult.
Well, and I think that mom guilt starts right away when you have a baby. Like
Hmm.
you feel, I just remember I felt guilty like sitting and rocking my baby because I should have been doing something because I'm on maternity leave, so I really should be knocking things off my
Yes.
list, right? But then you go do things and you feel guilty because I should be sitting and rocking my baby. It's like
Hmm.
it starts right off the gate, and it's so hard because from bottle feeding to nursing to working mom to not working mom, it's like there's always that am I doing the right thing in the back of my head or judgment from other people. And I love what you said about I don't have time to compare to other people, which means you also you don't have time to judge other people either.
Yeah.
Like that's what I hear you saying, and I know you don't because I know you. But it's like when you don't have the time, you're not making the time to compare against others, and that means you're also not taking the time to worry about well, what are they doing and what am I doing? You're just doing your path and doing your
Yes.
thing and making it work for you.
Mhm.
And you do have an amazing support system around you to do that, and that's really awesome. I also love what you said about your kids getting able to see women who are stay-at-home moms and women who are working moms. Like, love that because I think that we have so many options nowadays
Yeah.
to do different things. Some women are working at home and I got to do both. I got to be a stay-at-home or worked full time out of the home till my girls were 18 months and 3 years old. And then I became a full-time stay-at-home mom. And then eventually I was working from home, different things, but I loved that I got to experience it all because holy cow, did it open my eyes to the different
Mhm.
scenarios and go, every single one of those is hard. It doesn't matter which one you choose,
Mhm.
it's hard. Being a mom is hard.
Yes, it is. Very hard.
Yeah.
Very hard.
I think your kids they deserve to see their mom successful no matter what that looks like too.
Hmm.
Success for you is building a chiropractic business and, working out of the home, but still supporting your family and being there for them. And I myself, I worked out of the home before we moved to Texas and we didn't have children at the time. But now just working from home, but saying, yeah, I'm a full-time stay-at-home mom, working at the same time. And so there's a part of me that hopes that someday my daughter will look back and, when she's my age and say, my mom was very successful. She was a great stay-at-home mom and was always there for us, but she still had something for her that was,
Mhm.
that was mine. And so it was nice to hear that from you too, that your kids are getting to experience both sides of that.
Getting to see that. Yes.
And I think that the most important thing is that your kids see you happy and enjoying what you're doing.
Mhm.
Rebecca, I don't think you would be happy being at home all the time. Like that's
No, I know. I say that to people because I like so just by fluke. So Hazel, our oldest, was born on Christmas Day, 3 weeks early, and so she's our best Christmas present ever. And she just so that's like you and we weren't big social media people. We didn't put it out there, and so people were like texting the next week, like, "Hey, can I get in for an appointment?" And it's like, "Oh, I had a baby, whatever." And then there was this, like, it was a Friday and Mark was home because he doesn't work Fridays either. And so he was home that was like, I'm just going to run in and see a few people, hun. Like, I got a few patients and, and she was like a week old. I'm like, I'll feed her quick. I'll run in and work for 2 hours and I'll come back home. Like, you're going to do this, right? And I came back home and, I was like, just like this completely different person. And when I was gone for those 2 hours, Mark had called my mom and he's like, she won't stop crying. She just keeps crying. I don't know what's wrong with her. And like, so the postpartum had started in and I didn't even you don't see it, you know that. And my mom's like, well, we'll talk, let's make a plan. We need to get her some more social interaction. Like they knew I needed that social. And I came home and I was like, I think I have to go back to work. And it's like that was just so then like the next week I went back to work and she came with me and I had help. But we had all you made it work and we like I said, we had the wonderful stay-at-home or the wonderful nanny. My mom helped, my sister-in-law. It was just we had this conglomerate system, of things together. But then Violet comes along 16 months later, and I was like, okay, we have to get a better system down. And it was the same thing. Like it was like a week, and I like just started like I got to get back to work. And it wasn't. It was part of it was like wanting to help people because that makes me feel better. But I needed that structure and that schedule. So there's
Mm.
no way I could be a stay-at-home mom because I have to have structure and schedule to keep my life moving forward. So yeah, I say that to people. I'm a better mom because I work.
Yeah. And I love that I'm looking at both of you on the screen and you're both thriving in what you have chosen to do, both of
Yeah,
you.
right. Isn't that
Absolutely.
cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is what makes me happy. And that's where like in this group we've talked about that, like supporting other women. Like we just talked about the different we've talked about different generations and not even that we're all different generations, but we're all in different stages of our lives and slightly different ages, but supporting each other and understanding like you don't even have to understand people's choices, but supporting them. And if women supporting women is really what in the Real Joy Project, one of the biggest things that we're trying to do is like, let's cheer each other on no matter what they have that choice they made. Are they happy? Yeah, I'm cheering both of you on. Shelby, you're as a stay-at-home mom and you as a working mom, because you guys are happy in those positions. And that makes your family happy. Because if
Yeah.
mama ain't happy, nobody is happy.
Nobody's
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes, I have a girlfriend right now. Actually, we're going on a girls' trip next weekend. Her husband reached out last fall and she's a stay-at-home mom of four. And he's like, "Can you take her on a trip?" And I was like, "Yeah, where do you want me to take her? How long do you want me to take her? Let's go." And she's a little bit younger than I am, but our kids are the same age. And so we're going next weekend. We're just heading down to the Black Hills for a few days. And she's like very nervous to be away from her children. And I'm like, but this is so good but sometimes you need that push, that friend to like this is good, this is okay. And so but it's like she's having that nervous, excited reaction, but it's fun to be able to be that friend that's like, you can do this. Like I like we can do this. No plans. We're just gonna hike and read and just hang out. And it's like a perfect weekend. So I love that I get to be supportive of those kinds of that friendship and that piece of things too. But she's also my friend. Like whenever I need help with Sunday school, she's my friend that I might call a friend, like, hey, I need help or I need a snack. And she's so helpful and so good. So I love that about our friendship too. So yeah.
I love that her husband
Okay.
is the one that called you. Um,
Well, it was funny. It was just like this random phone call. I'm like, what does he want?
well, and I think that when that happens, that probably now makes you more aware of like your other friends.
Hmm.
Like, do I need to check in any on other my
Yep.
other friends? You
Yeah.
know? So by him doing that, like, cheers to him because
I know.
that's awesome.
Very proud
Yeah.
of him that he did that. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
I hope my husband is listening and taking note.
did you hear that? I need you to plan this trip for me. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, yeah, exactly.
mhm.
That's too
That's
funny.
good. Yes.
Um, you talked earlier, Rebecca, about taking time for yourself. Can you kind of shed some light? In a recent episode, we all kind of shared like how we find time for ourselves. One thing for me is like coloring in the evening, and I do color by number books because as a mom, if I don't have to make a decision, right, best thing
Yes.
ever.
Yeah.
But it's a really helpful way for me to kind of just wind down in the evening, but I'm a very creative person, so I enjoy
Mhm.
doing, coloring something. Like I feel a little productive still too. Um, but what are some things that you enjoy, or like how do you find rest in all the busy and chaos?
The color by number book, I have one in my Amazon shopping cart. I just haven't like pulled the trigger and
Oh
bought
my gosh,
it.
get it,
Just
get
do
it,
That's
it.
just
Okay.
fine.
go with it.
Just do it. Okay. Um, I like so it's back to the scheduling thing with having structure and schedule for myself. I have monthly facials. I book those out a year in advance. We were
Amazing.
talking earlier, Jenny and I share the same hair gal. Those are every 6 weeks. I mean, I don't necessarily know if that's self-care or if that's just like necessity, but I do count it as self-care. I do monthly massages as well. And then when your sister's a physical therapist, you try to schedule regularly, but then you're the first person to get thrown off the schedule if somebody needs it. So and just having like I have to schedule it. So that piece of things. I am a reader, so I will read until the Kindle or the book hits me in the face at night. And so I do get through, and I'm a speed reader, so I get through quite a few books. And every once in a while now, I usually have a show I'm watching, like either my husband and I are watching one or I'm watching one, but I recently decided I should probably watch Bridgerton, and that's been a bad deal because I can't stop.
It's so good.
It's like
Bridgerton is so
last night Mark's
good.
like, I'm gonna go to bed. I was like, okay, I'm gonna finish this episode. He's like, okay, good night. Like usually we try to go to bed at the same time, but it was like, I just gotta see what happens. I just gotta see. Just gotta see. So
That's still one I haven't picked that one up yet. Yeah.
I was like in between and I needed something, and Nikki had mentioned watching it, and then my sister-in-law was like, just do it. And then I called her after the second episode. I was like, dude, you didn't tell me. So it's yeah, so good. So definitely I think for me mainly it's like I have to schedule it, and like
Yeah.
and just knowing that I have that schedule in there, it works really well. And obviously as a chiropractor, it was easier. I used to go to Dickinson 1 day a week or 2 days a week, and I could get adjusted then, but that's harder now that I'm in Medora full time. So I try to do that monthly as well. Just pop when I'm in Dickinson, pop over and get adjusted. And but that I have definitely not been as good about because it's one more thing to do when you're in Dickinson. So
Drive to. So yeah.
and then
And for
drive,
like
yeah.
those that are listening, that's like 40 miles for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. To
Yes.
get to the
But
nearest
it is where we
chiropractor.
have to go to get groceries. So it's like
Yeah.
which I did. I mean, I shared this with Jenny. Believe it or not, Shelby, what Dickinson Walmart delivers to Medora, not out to our house south of town, but to Medora Walmart groceries. So
Wow,
yeah,
Which
wow.
so
is,
that's
Oh,
like
which
that's
is,
awesome.
yeah, which for those
great.
of us that don't know, that's
Yeah,
40 miles that they deliver to. So if you're questioning, if you live in a little town and you're questioning,
right.
call or just go online to your Walmart
Yeah,
because I have it delivered sometimes too. And I'm 20 miles from Walmart out of town. And people all the time are like, they deliver to your house? I'm like, yes. And it is the
yes,
best thing ever.
yep. And last
We
night we
do
were,
Walmart delivery as well, but it's like a mile and a half from
Yeah.
our house.
yeah, but that's different. That's different.
I count my Walmart delivery as self-care
On
because
that, yep,
Absolutely.
yep,
yes,
yeah.
because it's just even the Walmart pickup was because some people like to go. My sister loves to go on the show. She can't, she's like, how do you do that? I'm like, because I don't, going inside is exhausting,
Mhm.
draining. I spend more money. And she's like, but I like walking the aisles. I'm like, that's okay if that works for you. Not me. Like, nope.
And then you run
I
into
just
people
took
you
a
know. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
I
Shelby.
just took a trip out of the house, literally to Walmart the other night because we have a friend's little boy's birthday party this weekend. And I just needed like one of the gift bags. And my husband is like yours, Rebecca, where he's like very supportive and like knows when I'm like, okay, like please get out of the house. Like I know you're needing it. I was like, I'm gonna run and get this really quick. And he's like, why don't you just like go and like walk around? He's like, I know you're not gonna like buy anything at Walmart for yourself, but he's like, go and like look for you too. And I was like, okay. So I spent probably 45 minutes in Walmart just walking around, but I hadn't been in there in so long either. And it's just the closest store that's walkable to our house. But yeah,
Mhm.
sometimes you just need out of the house as a stay-at-home mom, even if it's to Walmart.
Just to Walmart by
Yeah.
yourself. There's the key. Walmart by
Yeah.
yourself.
Yes,
Yeah.
By yourself.
yes. It really was like sit in the parking lot for like 10 minutes scrolling on my phone, not getting interrupted and
Nobody needs to know that part.
Well,
Nobody needs
that's
to know that.
and that's the thing. Nobody needs to know. And that
No.
is sometimes that is where your rest comes in. That is sometimes where
yeah.
your self time comes in. And Rebecca, you said you're going next weekend with a friend on a trip too. Like that's awesome. Like there's something about that girlfriend time, that one-on-one
Mhm.
with another girl that like they get it. They're in the same part of life that you're in. They know the mom life, the busy life. And just to go, and you said you guys are just going to do downtime while you're there.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that sounds like a vacation.
we booked a spa stuff for Friday and then Saturday, and then I said something we were just discussing like we're gonna pick up some groceries. We're gonna stay at a cabin. My parents have an Airbnb, so we're just gonna stay there. And um I said we can cook, and or we can take grab some stuff to cook. And her husband was like, he said no, I don't. He said you need to go out to eat. I don't want her cooking. And I was like, okay, don't have to tell
Oh,
me twice. So yeah, he was
yeah.
very very supportive of it. The spa idea was his idea too. I was very very impressed with him. So he's like, yeah, take her to the spa, do all these, and like, and she's one of those that won't do it for herself. And so I was like, okay, here we go. Here's what we're booking, and she's yeah. So it was good. It was fun.
Yeah.
Gonna be fun. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it. So
It
yeah.
is. And going on vacation with our families is awesome and fun and leaves a ton of memories. But let's be awesome. Let's be, honest. You don't come home rested
Mm-mm.
when you're taking a
No.
vacation with your family. But going away with a girlfriend where you can go without a lot of plans and you literally, you find yourself up till midnight because you just are talking to each other while you're laying on the couch and eating popcorn or whatever. And it's like those moments, those are a reset. That to me is a reset. I can come home with my cup filled, feel relaxed and just rejuvenated and again ready to again to take care of my family, after a weekend like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Shelby, why don't you ask her about let's talk about your brain wellness company
Oh
because that's
yes.
what we talk about. We talk so much about like taking care of our bodies the last few weeks and then now we're talking about taking care of our minds and resting. And I know you had some questions around it, Shelby.
I'm just curious to hear more about it. Jenny's
Yes.
kind of filled me in a little bit. I know there's some connection with the brain wellness practice that you have, among or connection with like the rest and sleep and how important that is. So I'm excited to hear more. So
Yeah.
anybody who's listening, I hope you're excited too.
Yeah. So it's called Sarah Set. So cerebellum reset is where the name comes from. And so it is a brainwave technology that we hook you up to. Well, I guess we should start with, so as we age, your physical, chemical, emotional, mental traumas kind of shut down neural pathways. It's a coping mechanism to help your brain cope with things that are going on. So the easiest one to explain is like you get the story I like to use is our son got bucked off a horse and he hit his head. He got a TBI, a traumatic brain injury. So and what the things we noticed were with him was like definitely like shorter fuse. Like he was instantly angry and then just angry. And he's not our angry kid. He's our happy-go-lucky youngest child, only brother, life is good. I'm the funny, and he was just like this different kid. And I was already in the process of doing this when this kind of happened, so it was just another push to do this. But what we do is we hook up sensors, different spots in your brain, and the sensor, and you read your brain waves with those sensors and see where those neural pathways aren't balanced left to right and front to back. And then you put headphones in, and the headphones open up you hear different tones, and those tones open up those pathways to help numerous things. So the five main things is sleep, thinking, like cognitive thinking, memory, um, sleep, I always forget, energy, stress management, and mood are the things that it really. So the first thing we see almost instantly with almost everybody is sleep. The first session's just kind of always, you do 5 sessions. The first session's always a little just awkward and weird because you can only explain so much. You just have to kind of figure out what's going on. And but we have people that can just kind of relax into it. And most everybody, I can't think of anybody. I should ask my partner that has done some too. If I think everybody's fallen asleep. You fall asleep
Wow.
at some point. And so that's huge. Even so kids are harder because you have to sit still from anywheres between 6 to 10 minutes at a time. And then you can kind of move and then you run another set. You run another set and you go through like 3 sets of these. So with our son, within the first, and then that's the thing too, he stopped sleeping. Like he's always been kind of our not great sleeper, but was like he kept getting up earlier and earlier. And it's like, okay, buddy, it's 4:30. You still need to sleep some more. You can't get up for the day. And actually my husband just said this morning he's been up twice this week, but like around 5. And he's like, do we need to do another tune-up? They're called tune-up sessions once you get further down the road, but just to get him back on track with sleeping and stuff. But and so, yeah, we just definitely have noticed. So that's one of the biggest things is it helps you rest. People, I mean, I thought I was a good sleeper until I did these, and I did not realize how I was not getting into my REM as quickly and staying in there as long or into my deep sleep. And so that helps you. And then I do feel like once you're sleeping better, all those other things kind of fall into place. But this also helps open up those pathways, those neural pathways to help with all those other pieces. Stress management. We've had people go, we have had one client, she was on 3 different kinds of anxiety, depression medication, and after 5 sessions, she's no longer on any of them. And if you think
Wow.
about like the side effects, we don't even know the long-term side effects of all that kind of stuff. So, we have had we had one client, this is well, one of my favorite stories. So she had so much inflammation in her body. And this is not something that we can even market because it's so hard to, there's not like, it's hard to just, or not justify, but hard to like show how this works. But she had so much inflammation in her body. Her favorite thing in the world to do was ride horse. So she would ride horse on a Sunday for about a half an hour, and she would schedule on Monday with myself and my sister. So she'd have a PT appointment and an adjustment because she could barely walk after riding horse for half an hour. But she
Wow.
loved it that much, she would go through that pain. Had a couple surgeries, no, not really any better. And then I come to Medora with Sarasat, and she's like, "Well, let's try this." And she's open to all of this stuff, and she's more than willing. Third session of Sarasat, she comes in to do her fourth session, and she comes in just, I mean, like tears streaming down her face, so excited, happy to see. And it's like, what's going on? We're like, what? And she's like, just like so. And she's like, I rode horse for an hour yesterday, and look at me, I can walk, and I can. And so I mean, she attests it too, and the only thing she changed was doing Cereset, so that those neural pathways were blocking even the inflammatory processes of her body, and she opened those
Mm.
up. And I can't even tell you the last time we saw her. I mean, like she's
Wow.
that, like she comes in for her routine stuff, but yeah, like she's doing so well after those sessions of, yeah. So it's like just so cool, like how, and like that, I think that's what, like Sarah said, chiropractic, that, and like even like teaching the Sunday school we have, like when you can help people, for me, when I can help somebody, it fills my cup up so much. And then I feel like, then you feel like you have all this. So that's like my favorite part. And I mean, that was my motivation behind adding it to my practice was something else to help people live their best life. So that's
Mhm.
what I love about it. Do you have any specific questions about Sarah? I know that's a lot of information. So yeah.
Yes, I'm like, okay,
Oh.
I should almost be writing them down.
Yes.
So you come in for your first appointment and you wear the sensors on your head. I'm assuming you're just gathering information at that point, like getting readings to see
So
what's going on. And then how do you go from like that first appointment all the way through the fifth where people are like what is the machine doing, or are you like implementing different like habits and things for people to try or like in between, like how are you getting from that initial appointment to somebody's like, well, now I'm sleeping better because I put this on my head.
Yeah,
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 it is.
yeah.
So we can do two things. Like some people come in and do like the initial scan, and it's called an introduction, and that is just to see what's going on. But some people just want to dive right in and just get started. And so that with that one too, we still do the initial 2 minute scan, see what's going on, and we start with a basic kind of one size fits all protocol that first session, and then excuse me, the we get information back from the computer, from the sensors on the head. And from there, then we build out the plan of like, and based on the information, the symptomologies that you've given us, I'm not sleeping, or you get or, I can't remember, the phone number 2 minutes later. So we get the information from everybody, and then we can build, they're called non-standard protocols, so we can build those out accordingly. The biggest thing that's, and so in some people's sessions, we have to space them out once a week for 4 weeks, and then you come back later and do your fifth session. Or we can do, some people can do twice a week. And so you're in and out in 2 weeks, and then you come back 3 weeks later. And so you're kind of giving your brain that workout those first four sessions. Like here, we're throwing a lot at it, and then we kind of let it reset, and then we come back 3 weeks later. And that's when you notice your big changes. And we have all kinds of questions. We have to go through a list of questions, and we have you rate things, engage things, and the rating, you rate everything on a 1 to 10 scale. And it's fun because you don't remember what you rated something,
Oh.
and then you come back 4 weeks later and you're like, you ask them again, and they're like, well, I know it's not much better, but they gave me a 4, and then they gave me an 8. And I was like, you just doubled it. I know you don't think it's and then they're like, oh, well, yeah, I guess it is a lot, so that's always fun too. The biggest thing, they ask you, they want to see that it's just the Cereset working, so they ask you not to do any of your brain-based modalities. So like, put pause on therapy, some of those different things while you're working at this. No alcohol, no nicotine, no CBD, no marijuana products, because we do know that those things alter the brain. So sometimes that's a challenge for some people, like no alcohol for, you say, 4 weeks, and then through, for 7 weeks. But also I can say my dad, because he talks about Sarasette to everybody and their dog. He swears by it, but he used to be like a glass a night kind of guy, like just glass of wine a night kind of guy, just to like unwind from the day and calm down. And I can't tell you the last time he had a drink and he doesn't crave it. So I mean, that's
Wow.
been kind of cool to see too. And then I'm the same. Like I haven't wanted to have a drink, and some people have that. So that's kind of neat too, of like some of the all their side effects of
And do you
things.
think that's because you don't need the calm down? Like,
Yeah.
do you think that's
Mhm.
what it is? It's that you
Yeah.
don't need that to have
Wind
that
down.
relaxation.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of my biggest things, my sleep is, I notice my sleep is affected right away, but my other thing is my motivation, and my like just being able to get things done in a more timely manner. I don't procrastinate. So that's usually kind of my husband. Like if I start to kind of procrastinate things, he's like, "Do you need to do a Sarah session?" I'm like, no, probably, but no. So then, yeah. So then I guess I could add that into self-care, because I've kind of worked that into like almost a monthly thing where
Yeah.
I've added Sarah. I have to look back.
So once you go through those 5 sessions,
Hmm.
then can you just come in for a session once in a while, or do you have
Hmm.
to go through all five every time
Nope.
you
Nope.
no?
After the five initial, then it's just tune-ups as needed. The it's based in Scottsdale, so Faith and I got to head down to Scottsdale to do the final training piece before we opened up our franchise. And they have one client, he's a CEO. Of course, they can't give you a lot of information, but a CEO of a very large corporation down there, and he comes in every Monday morning at 9 o'clock,
Wow.
because that's what he
Wow.
thinks he needs. And it's like, okay, well, that's no different than any other thing you're going to do once a week. This is just all natural, helping your brain work at its optimal function, so that's what he chooses to do. And so they have people that come in weekly. They have people that are just on a monthly rotation, regular schedule. And I definitely have a few of those already that are just in here once a month,
That's
because they know. We have one client that her mom is a lot, for lack of a better word, and when she goes to see her mom, or has to go help take care of something, she has learned to do a session before she goes, and her husband swears
oh,
it's like this completely different
wow.
experience for everybody. Her and her husband both,
Wow.
but her husband has noticed this huge change. So it's like, if that's what you need to do to cope and keep things at where you want them, good, great. You found something, So yeah.
Those are some amazing testimonies.
Mhm.
And we know that stress is like one of the like stress, which I think inflammation are tied together for sure,
Mhm.
is like a leading just leads into how many different like diseases
Mhm.
and like long-term side effects on our body. And so if we can find things like this to help us reduce that stress and help us sleep better. And I mean, why not? Like, why wouldn't we take advantage of these types of
Mhm.
opportunities that are there for us? That's amazing.
Mhm. I love it. Yeah, that's
My mind
awesome.
is still just blown by this. I
I
have
know.
so many questions.
I know. I know
Well,
it
and
is
it
it's kind of crazy.
Well, and and well, at the and we talked about the girlfriend getaway where we were at in January, and we had speakers, and we had one. I mean, her title of her speech was literally like "woo," oh, the woo woo, because
Yes.
sometimes it could feel that way,
Yeah.
but there are so many other things in the world that are not working. That it's like
Mhm.
sometimes we try something that's not traditional, that does seem a little bit out there, but look at the results that you're getting. And even if you walk away sleeping better, the amount of studies that are coming out about sleep that now that I'm getting older, that I've been reading about, like I even heard the other day that if you are not getting that, your sleep is related to your chances of having like dementia and Alzheimer's, like
Mhm.
your sleep quality and how they're related, along with your cardiac health, and all the things are related to your sleep. And it's like when you're young, you don't think about that. You could take pride in like, I don't need any sleep.
Mhm. Yeah.
And it's like I never thought of that before, more than just I'm tired. Like I never thought about how it affected me internally versus just my emotions or things like that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, sleep, yeah, like you said, there's so many studies coming out more and more on how the importance of sleep and what it is needed for every piece of your body.
There's
Every,
countries.
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Just every cardiovascular, nervous, like every single system in your body and what it needs to reset and recycle and get back to normal the next morning. Yeah.
I always hear about other countries that like they have like nap in the middle of a work day, or they honor more of that rest. And I really think that our country's starting to realize that we don't have to have that badge of honor of being busy all the time. And I hope that these types of conversations, I know it helps me to continue to have these conversations because it
Mhm.
reminds me myself, but I hope that we all start to have more of these conversations and support each other in that.
Yes. Well, I think we're doing, and then by us showing our kids to rest and to not have
Yes.
to always be busy. We're, and not that our parents did it wrong by no means. I mean, our moms are probably some of the first moms that were they were in the workforce and they were taking care of home. My dad
Hmm.
was as much as helpful as he could be, but that was not a men don't help in the house. I mean, and so
Hmm.
now, and we're having men that do help in the house, and so I think we have, it's going to take generations to shift that narrative to that
Hmm.
where rest is a part of the normal day to day, and taking care of yourself, and productivity doesn't have to be all the time every day. So yeah.
Yeah. Amen
Absolutely.
to that.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
Oh,
Definitely.
speaking of that, I want to round back before we end today. I want to round back to you running for the school board. So I have to laugh a little bit because we've been teasing Rebecca since she mentioned she might do this. Like, what are you going to give up? Because she wants to find this balance. So what are you going to give up? And so I was in her office 2 days ago at the chiropractic office, and then I was actually with her sister on the physical
Yeah.
therapy side. And Rebecca walks in. She's like, I got my application in. And I'm like, so what are you giving up? And she like turns and walks out of the room.
I didn't answer.
I'm
She's like,
giving
I
up
don't know
this
yet.
conversation.
Yeah.
You're with my sister. You're busy.
Yeah. And
Oh,
I
I
think
did.
you said, well, I don't know yet, Mark, or something like
Yeah,
your
yeah,
husband's
because
name.
Mark, that's what. So when I like, you have that conversation, like, hey, I think I'm gonna do this, and Mark's famous for not ever telling me no. And he did say, he's like, he's like, yeah, he's like, you need to do this. This will be good, and you've talked about this for years, and it just was that like. a good timing with our life to do this at this point. And he said, but you do have to give something up. And I was like, yeah, you can I give I didn't like that answer.
You don't have to
I
say today
do.
what you're thinking about. I'm not putting you on the spot there,
No, no,
but
I know. No, but I am. I'm like, I mean, I was preaching 2 to 3 times a month. We are without a pastor in our church right now. And so that is cutting back actually to once a month, this starting this month. So that I think I'm going to see how that shift is with things. I will be, so in the summer, I shift my schedule to 3 long days and I take Mondays and Fridays off. So I'm then we just have to have a nanny 3 days a week. And having 4 days with the kids, having that
Yeah.
Monday to just we get to do, so you feel like you have Saturday and Sunday to have a weekend, and then Monday we kind of do our week reset. And so that was the other conversation piece that Mark and I talked about is he said going into the fall you just don't go back to work on Mondays. You continue to keep that day off to do admin and get caught up and be ready for the week. And I'm like, okay, that's so, but then you gotta, how does that work in the budget and all the other pieces? So we just have to, it's just have a little bit of balancing to do and figuring things out. But that's kind of where I'm at. I'm not
yeah.
completely checking one thing off, but finding some room to give and take with places. So, and I
The
know I have friends in my corner that will make sure I don't overload myself because they will call me on it. So,
Yes, we will.
yes, you will.
And
So,
I'm so proud of you though for recognizing that and taking the time. I know you've been taking the time and you've been like thinking about different options on what can I do and not making a quick rash judgment or rash decision, but like you've been taking the time to process through that and it's been fun to watch you do that because you also took some time to think, is this really what I want? And being a part of the school board right now is important to you. It's something you're very interested in. And so it's been fun watching you go through those decision process and thinking about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's been fun. And that's definitely an age thing. You used to do like, I mean, we've talked about this with Nikki too, like the saying yes and then figuring it out later. And it's like,
Yes.
it's like, I need to figure it out, then I will say yes. And so just having, and that, I don't know if that's an age thing or just something I've learned, but yeah, you definitely been better about that of like, I'm gonna take a beat. We're gonna pray on this. We're gonna think about this, have conversation. Then I will agree or not
Yes.
agree. So yeah,
Absolutely. Yes. That's
so exciting.
awesome. Well, Shelby, do you have any other thing for Rebecca today?
I mean, I wrote down 3 questions. I might just, oh, we have like our text group, so I'm seriously gonna text you just because out of curiosity, I like need to know these things. Um, I know
About Sarasette.
I'm in Houston, but I still have family in Dickinson and
Mhm.
in Northeast Montana. So, um, I would love to stop in sometime and try that Sarah said
Well,
out.
we'll have to, I mean, I'll get you the website too, but there, I'm no, and there's one or two in Texas. I just don't know if there's one in Houston. So,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably something similar maybe, but I think just
Yeah.
going to somebody that you know too, like there's
Yeah,
that
there's
extra
that.
level
Yes,
of
there's that piece.
trust.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I would love to support you instead of, I mean, I'll
Yeah.
support other people in their businesses, but it'd just be nice to support you too with what you're
Yes, and I
doing.
have so there is like non-compete radius, is that what it would be? Something like, so there's, I'm here in Medora and then there's one in Billings and there's one in Fargo. So
Okay.
like I right now currently we have somebody driving down from Sydney.
Well,
And so
well,
like, yeah, and have had, I mean, quite a few, most, no, not even, I would say half of maybe, or maybe patients that had turned into Sarasette clients, but just people that, we had one that came from like an hour away that was driving to Fargo originally, and then
Wow.
found out we were here, and so now she comes here because it's closer, obviously. So
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
so just
yeah,
that part of things. So yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing all of that. I definitely have
Yes.
questions, but I wanted to thank you too for the permission too to just keep taking time for yourself. And like I know you said you don't like finding a balance. There really isn't a balance, but just having that permission from you too. And it was really nice conversation with you today.
Schedule
Yeah.
it in. That's what you have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Schedule it in.
She's like,
And
schedule
you
it in.
do
do
that.
it.
You and Mark sit down together and do that on Sunday nights, don't you? You kind of
Yes.
schedule your week out
Mhm.
and it's like just you have that that's a habit. You've built it into a habit now.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have we call it power hour with the kids, but it's not an hour. It's like, what are we having for supper? What's this? What's that? Who's got this? Who's got that? And then kind of just so everybody knows and there's not any surprises on Friday morning, like, oh, what are we doing tonight? And it's like, well, we've talked about. I mean, and there's, always schedule changes, but everybody kind of knowing what's happening is huge. So, and then if we tell the kids we're planning date night, that's very much like who's coming to babysit, are we going to grandma and grandpa's, and so like we can't even get out of date night because they're like, see you later, we want to we want the babysitter to come, we want to go to grandma and grandpa. So that's nice too, to have that accountability from your own children.
It is. I love that you do it as a whole family, and
Yeah.
it's good for your kids. It's good for them to know, like, yeah, mom and dad are gonna go do this. It's a great example for them for their
Mhm.
future relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, it was totally awesome having you on
Yes, thank you
today.
guys. Thank
Thank
you.
you. I'm gonna put below like where you guys can follow Rebecca. Sarah Set is Cerecet. No,
Yes.
yeah, SET.
I gotta you have it.
Cerecet.
I gotta write it down. Yes, Sarah said yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
CERE and then SET.
Yep,
Yeah,
Sarah
Sarah
said
Set
yes.
Medora, and she's also at Little Missouri Chiropractic. But we'll put it below in the description. So,
Yes.
it was so awesome having you on today. Is there
Thank you
anything else you
guys.
want to say before we go?
No, I just really appreciate it. It was fun to get to visit with you. And I had my lunch yesterday, I had coffee with friends today, and now this. I'm like, my friend cup is full for the weekend. It'll be
I
awesome.
love
I
that.
love
I
it.
love it. I love it. Well, if
Yes.
thank you guys for listening today. And if you're enjoying our conversations, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. And you can follow us on our socials. Just go to therealjoyproject.com and you can find all of our socials and our other recent chats. And thank you for being here. So everybody have a great day.